My name is Eric Imondo, and with me in studio today is Mary Wanjathu, and she's already in the house. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Briefly tell us about yourself.
Okay, first of all, I think I would like to thank God even for His goodness and mercy and favor, and even bringing me here. So my name is Mary Wanjathu, a voice for the voiceless, a catalyst for change, a multiple award winner, and an aspiring Nobel Prize winner.
Wow.
Yeah, the founder and CEO of Cityscape Trend Services Limited. We provide sustainable commercial cleaning services for offices where we leverage our core business to address social, environmental impacts. My role at Cityscape Trend Services is to champion, to advocate, to lobby for decent work, decent pay, human rights, economic growth for those at the bottom of the pyramid, dwelling in informal settlements in urban and peri-urban areas. That's what we do. So we don't clean to hire, we have to clean.
Wow,
yes.
Such a fantastic statement right there.
Yes.
What gave you that drive? Because sio ya kawaida.
Yeah, it's just about giving a positive impact to the society and to make the world a better place for our children. Before God directed my footsteps to the cleaning industry, and today I try to connect the dots. I remember back in school then, I used to have a lot of challenges. I was sent away because of lack of school fees, because I come from a very humble background. And that aligns me to what I do today, to be a voice for the voiceless. So lack of school fees, being sent home away all the time, inspired me to start going out there and looking for opportunities. So I think I started with the low-hanging fruits. I went to some of my friends and I told them, would you help me? Like, I can clean your house, I can clean your carpets, you know, everything, wash the dishes. And I found myself there cleaning, doing housework.
Wow. Was this before or after you had finished school?
This was during school.
During school?
Yeah, you see, lack of school fees. My mom would only give me 30 shillings. To go to school. So even going back, she would later now come and give me bring me money to go back. So it was hand to mouth, I would say, still at school, because I was only given the basic commodities, that is hair oil, face oil, pads, maybe toothpaste and shoe polish. That was it. And when I look at the other students, they had goodies, blue pad, good biscuits, juice, which I lacked. And therefore I said, I have to change this. I want to change the status quo. I don't want to keep struggling like this. So I went out and I started working as a housekeeper so that I can supplement the money that my moms give me. And by the end of it, when I came back to the next term, I would have what the other children are. In school, we say it's all about peer pressure. But of course, at the back of my mind, I knew that I want to make a difference. Yeah, I don't want to be in the same way that I was. But I also, before getting the work for a house help, I also, we used to live in Nyeri. There were a lot of Indian communities selling clothes. So I would go to them and ask them to give me work so that I can clean their shops. And after cleaning the shops, maybe I can also sell. But I think I was young by then, because I was still in school, and they knew something that I didn't know. Today they call it child labor. So you can't hire someone who is below. Yeah, I didn't know. But I thank God, because I found my friends who gave me their housework, and then I helped them, and they got something. And again, in college, I remember that it was smooth. I did a lot of things. But more, I can say I did catering, food, beverage, and sales. And then I got attachments. I went to various hotels where I went to attachments. Remember, I went to Voice Safari Lodge, I went to Outspan, I went to Samburu. Today, because of climate action, Samburu Lodge is no longer there. So that exposure, the internships that I was given in those places were really amazing. So when I finished my college, and I stayed at home for some times because I didn't get employment, but I decided that I can't stay at home. I need to go back where I went for my internships. And I asked them to give me a job. And they said, we do not have a job. I told them, now I knew if I stay at home, either get in wrong relationships or peer pressure, I'll waste a lot of time. Why don't I just tell them if they can't give me a job, then I can just continue with my internship. So I went to Safari Lodge, and they told me they can't give me a job, but I decided, let me do the internship. I continue advancing on my skills, because if I stay at home, they say an empty mind is a devil's workshop. Yes. I didn't want to do that. So I went back there, and I just decided to work for free, voluntary basis. And I think I would like to advise people that don't stay somewhere with your skills and knowledge. Make use of them, because you might you might end up being in the wrong company. You might start wasting those skills. And what I know today, even as an employer today, that you become attractive when you are in a place rather than when you are not in a job. Because I'll be asking, why are you not in a job? Why can't you volunteer? Why can't you do even community service? So I went, and when I was there, that's when I got a job in Nyali Beach as a waitress. So I was working in Nyali Beach for 1 year. I worked there as a waitress. Then we were retrenched. I came back to Nairobi. Again, I was tammacking again. I remember that time, Eric, I used to wake up very early in the morning with my CVs in the hand. Do you know, it was so hard, because now all the money that I did not save, I did not learn when I was employed in Nyali Beach at that time. I did not have the culture of saving. And at some point, I would even lack money to go. Now, I'm tammacking every day. I'm going to town looking for work. At time, I would even lack. At a 20 bob sina, I did not have. It was hard. I keep saying that you have to really work. Nothing comes easy. In life, there's no pain without no gain. Yeah, so you must actually work. So I tamaked, but God was faithful to me that I finally got a job in Sima's restaurant in Kenyatta Avenue. Today, I think it was closed. So I worked at Sima's for some times. I was a hostess. And after I think I worked very hard. My boss saw that, and she had a chain of salons. And then she asked, Mary, would you like to come and work for me in the salons? And I said, why not? And then by then I used to be paid 5,000. And then it was so hard. It was so hard. And then I didn't know how to plan my monies. Then I went to Nairobi West. I got an apartment where I used to stay. The apartment was going for 4,000. The only money I was left was 1,000. Now they would plan me to come. You can imagine how wrong calculations. Those are mistakes we make, and that we grow out of them. So I worked in Nyali in Simas. Now my boss has taken me to her salon to help her in the salon business. So I was working in Queen's salon. Later I worked in Urembo. I worked in many salons in the salon industry, and it was a very good. You remember, I was a hotelier, but now I was asked, would you like to go to the salon industry? I said yes, because it is about exposure, experience, and being in an environment that you can grow and thrive. For me, I said yes, I'll do. Let me tell you, sometimes it's like a seed. When you take a small seed and put it on a windowsill, put water, and it will not grow because the environment is not a good environment. But if you take that same seed and put it in a fertile soil, it will grow, thrive, and blossom and flourish. So I think those environments, there were places for me. They are stepping stone. Even today, even you, Eric, you still haven't come out. And in life, I keep saying it's a process. Just be in the right environment and you keep growing. Yeah.
Wow, such an amazing journey right there.
Yes.
From struggling with the school fee at Nyeri to getting into college, to working in a hotel, to being retrenched, to working again at another hotel, to moving to a salon. For sure, it has been an interesting journey for you.
Yeah.
Take us from there and how you've gotten into business, and before we get to championing for the workers' rights.
Thank you, Eric. So at the moment I was exposed in the salon industry, I got a lot of experience, and later I said I can also start my own salon. But this time, I did not start the salon to change the world. I think I started the salon. Every time I say, every time you start something, you must know why you are doing it. Why? Well, the why is one of the inputs. Why? So I got into the salon business to start it and then sell it. And that's how I did. So I got into the salon business. I bought a salon. It was called Talk of the Town. It was along Biashara Tapman on Levron Plaza. That is where I did, and I ran the business for some times. It was quite challenging. The salon industry was quite challenging because I remember at some point, I think people have this perspective that when you go to a place and you see it growing and it's thriving and it is busy, and then they think they can go next door and also open another one without doing the research. You need to do a research. You need to understand an industry, go deeper before you start any business. And I remember this time when I was running the salon, I had people, customers, people outside who come and poach all my workers. Yeah, they came at one time. I'm coming to work, and then I found all my workers have been poached. They have gone. Yes, they have gone. I was me and my receptionist. And I was like, oh my goodness, what is this? And I knew those are some of the challenges that when people are out here, you look at the business, because my business was really thriving. You were busy 24 hours, 24/7, you are always busy. I thank God for that, because I keep looking at that. When I flash back and I look at how Joseph, even in the scripture, how he, and even Jacob, he touched things and they grew and they were flourishing. And I said, because this is God who gave me this. Now that they have gone, I'll still continue doing it. So as I was there, what in the salon industry at that time would travel like lightning. And I would, others would come asking for jobs and saying, we've had people have gone, can you hire us? And that time, I just recruited them in a random. I said, let me recruit them, and then I'll do the interviews later, get to know who I can work with. But because customers are coming in and going out, I really need to do something. You know, sometimes you really have to make tough decisions, no matter what. You don't have to stop and you know, get frozen and you know, don't know what to do. But because you had the idea of starting a business, just get into it, think on your feet very quickly, recruit, and we continued. And I had another team. I did interviews later. Customers were happy. Believe it or not, it happened the second time. And the third time, yes, that is how it is in the salon industry. Yeah, but I thank God because I continued. And later, after 10 years, now I thought it was the time now to sell it. Even when I was there selling, not even, I had not even advertised, but wanted to buy the salon. So it was not easy, hard to sell it. We finally got a buyer who came and bought it. And then now, at that point, I had already started thinking, what next? What next? So I had already doing my research. Still, when I was in the salon industry, I started doing research. Of course, I recruited people who are running the salon. I recruited a manager. I recruited a receptionist. And then now I started thinking, what next? When I was still in the salon industry, I got an invitation from Goldman Sachs Foundation in UICU, and they were looking for business women who can who have a physical place and who can run a business. So I went back to learn about now real entrepreneurship. I went back to, but this time it was sponsored 1 year by Goldman Sachs Foundation. Let me tell you, this was the 360 turnaround. If I didn't go for that entrepreneur journey, probably I wouldn't be in business today. So yeah, so I went, I learned, I met other women who were also running big businesses, and they were also having challenges in their businesses. And you say, share your challenge, you share. We solved the challenge. We come again the next day, we report. So we did that for 1 year. It was amazing. Wow. Yeah, so from there, during that program is when now I thought about cleaning industry, because I had gone to school when I was still doing the food and beverage, food production. I also did housekeeping. Yeah, so it was at that point that I said I need to change the the housekeeping industry. Probably this is an industry where I can tap into the opportunity. And that's how now I got into the cleaning industry. Yeah, that is how I got in the cleaning industry. I did my research for 2 years in the cleaning business to understand what is happening. I started looking for people to mentor me at that time. But guess what? I couldn't get anyone to mentor me because those people didn't know what they didn't know. So it was really hard. Yes, and I got into the cleaning industry. Yes.
Wow. Just to go back, those kind of opportunities, like the training that you went through.
Yes.
How can people access such kind of trainings? Are they still there even up to today? How can you lead someone into such kind of a program?
This program sometimes, because they are sponsorship, they come and go. However, every other time, people can actually go to companies that for impact or social impact organization. There's a lot of accelerator programs that are offered, and most of them are free. Go tap into them. Also, I would also advise people, they can actually do short course, like workshops. Another thing they can also do is that there are seminars and conferences offered by business organization. People can tap into them. And if you cannot be able to pay, you can actually even be bold and courageous and ask what happened. Probably you can tap into them. Yes. And also I think networking, go to places where they're even in your community. You can go to your community. There are a lot of networks. Get to know people who can actually now help you to penetrate into those associations, such programs. I think that's what I have done. I've tapped a lot on networks, a lot of workshops, seminars, conferences. Every day I am appearing and learning, because I keep saying, Eric, that in today's world, the 21st century leadership, you cannot be comfortable. You have to just go out there, get information. Access to information is very key. Networking is very key. Mentorship, look for people to mentor you. It's very key. Coaching is very key. So you don't be comfortable, because the world keeps on evolving every day. There's a new thing happening. Who would have known that COVID is coming? But COVID has come. We have restructured. We have changed our business model. We have started doing things differently. We were shaken. You know, when COVID came, we were really shaken. Really shaken, like being shaken. But thank God, we are still here. We are still standing, because we have to create, to respond, look for ways to recover, and then create resilience. So the world keeps on evolving every day. New things are happening. Shifts and market, there are shifts and trends happening. So you cannot afford to just stay. I keep saying that Eric, we have 5 types of people. There are those people who watch things happen. There are those people who do not know what is happening. Then there are those people who let things happen to them. And there are those, finally, there are those people who make it happen. So I keep saying, be the person who makes it happen and make things happen. Don't let things happen to you. Don't be a person who don't know what is happening. Yeah, so, yeah.
Wow. So these workshop opportunities are there just for people to be synergetic enough for them. And they inspired you into a cleaning business.
Absolutely.
2 years in the research.
Yeah.
How has it been so far after that?
So for the cleaning industry was very exciting when I started the cleaning business. I started at a point of not putting people first. It was money. Before, it was just about money. So we'd pay people little money and not even give people maternity leave, not give people decent work, decent pay. Like I said before, you remember the analogy of the seed? A seed put on a windowsill and a seed put on a fertile soil. I think I was on a single windowsill. And that's why I did business in the wrong way. However, I was still feeling I am not fulfilled. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. Life has no meaning. And then I went searching. Again, I went to the conferences, to the workshop. I kept learning. And then, boom, I think it was just like something that exploded. I met this organization called United Nations Global Compact, and I joined, and I found people who are talking about doing business in the right way, taking care of people, putting people first, and that is how we learned. When I was there, that's when now, like a seed, I started germinating, growing, thriving, and then boop, I just blossomed. How did I blossom? At the association, we started learning about the United Nations guiding principles. So we just don't do our business. We have principles and values that we cannot compromise on. So the first value is principle is no corruption. This badge is for blue companies, where people say we don't do corruption. We do business in an ethical manner. Then the other principle is about human rights, that whatever we do, when we are doing our business, we cannot infringe on the human rights of people, that we are going to put people first, whether it is our employees, our suppliers, people in the community, we are going to treat them, we are not going to infringe on their rights as we do our business. We are going to do our business in a responsible way without infringing on human rights. You have had companies where or cases where, for example, I can just give an example. There was the Uhuru Owino slums in Mombasa, where a company started manufacturing lead, and then the lead went into the communities, and the communities started getting sick, children died, adults died. That is doing business in a responsible manner. So we are saying, when you do your business, think about the people you are working with, think about the communities, do not infringe on their human rights. And then the other principle is on labor laws, that you have to pay people according to the labor standards. Then the other last principle is on environment. As we do cleaning services. As we do our cleaning services, are we coming up with standards, processes, policies, procedures that enable us that the cleaning products do not have the people who are in the environment, whether they are our workers, whether it is the community, are we taking care of them? So that is how we started, and then all this is embedded in our strategy, business strategy, and business operation. So we don't do the good thing aside with our business. It's all integrated and incorporated, and then we have a framework called human rights due diligence process. The first step is that we have to talk to the people. We have to find out how are the people. Are they happy? Are they having challenges? Because we say that as you do business and human rights, it is not a switch or a button where people can start doing it and then it's a continuous process. You keep on evaluating what are our impacts, what are our negative impacts, what are our positive impacts. And then it is not about having good processes, good policies. It is about improving on them. See what is working, or what's not working. Look at what is working, and then improve on what is working. Yeah, because we are human. We can always make mistakes. But when the mistakes come, what do you do? Then you have to look at those negative impacts and improve on them. So we have 4 steps. The first step is assess. Access, talk to the people on the ground, engage people, engage your customers. The second process on human rights due diligence is integrate all these challenges, all these positive things into training, then policies, procedures, and budgets for you to be able to do them. Then the other process, number 3, is about reporting. Looking internally, you report internally. And the final one, you report we report on the United Nations Global Platform. So when you go to the United Global Platform, every year we report about our negative impact, our positive impact, and that process is called human rights due diligence. And then out of this, we have created some programs that we have come with. We have a program called Salama Salamin program. We have a program called Cycling to Work. We have a program called Jiweze. And the last one we started the other day is called Angaza. Angaza is about mentoring people. How do you make people bigger, greater than you are? How do you live? How do you leave a baton to? How do you pass a baton to the next, to the future generations? Yes.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah.
What is the importance of giving employees decent work?
Oh my goodness, that's a very good question, Eric. That let me tell you, when you give people decent work means better working condition. That you'll give them maternity leave, you give them paternity leave, you give them leaves, sick leave. You become sick, we give you, we believe that you are sick. You know, there are times when you say you are sick, people won't believe you are sick. They will not believe you are sick. So we believe when you say you are sick, you are sick. So we give you leave, leave to go and rest. And then annual leave, we have to give you annual leave. Then we have flexi working condition for mothers who have given birth. When you give birth the first 6 months, you don't have to come, you can come half day and run back and breastfeed your child. Those who are working within the stations at 10 o'clock, they are given those flexi working condition to go and breastfeed. It's about taking care. When you take care of your workers, then they take care of your customers, and the business will thrive. So we say the reason why we should take care, or why it is important to take care of our workers. One, we say that high productivity. People will work, they are energetic, there is vibrancy, they are outgoing. Then number two, we say that it will improve the working conditions. So if there is a miss, for example, let me give you an example. We started our cycling to work program, and when we say the improved working condition, you'll understand that most companies do not have bike parks. They do not have, you put your bike, it will be stolen. You go to malls, there are no bike parks, maybe a few. So you will now be prone to create a bike park. You'll be prone now to create a bathroom, because now when people cycle, they will need to come and refresh and then wear the uniform to work. Why it is important, it makes workers happy. They feel part and parcel of the organization, and they feel ownership. Yeah, and that makes them grow, flourish, and thrive. The other thing we say, it makes business sense. And the last final thing why we think it is important, we say that it is the right thing to do. We say that as people, we must do the right thing, even if when doing the right thing is hard to do. Just do it. Yes.
Wow. I see. You also have a concern about people living in informal settlements.
Yes.
Why do you care as an employer where your people are living?
Oh, Eric, I'll tell you for a fact. I said I come from a humble beginning. Let me tell you, sometimes when you look in life, I think God has a way of connecting the dots from where we started, where we have grown, to what you are going to do in future. There's a way, it's just a way that the universe connects you. So I have lived in those areas. Wow. Yes, I've lived in such. I've lived in Kariobangi South. I've lived in Thika in some places. I've lived in Nyeri in some places, and I have also interacted with people in these places. I have visited my workers when they are sick. I've gone to their places. I know the condition. I know the station. You go to those places, like there's a place we went. We find that they have bathrooms where they share. You pay to use our bathroom. You find the water is not the water sanitation. So I think that sometimes the society have turned a blind eye to the most vulnerable people in the society and the marginalized people. And it's time to say that we have to think about these people without leaving anyone behind. Yeah, because the Sustainable Development Goals say that for us to reach Vision 2030, we have to look at the world's biggest, most pressing humanity challenges and address them. So the reason why I feel that I should look or think about these communities is because I have them in my workplace. Those are my first community, and that is where I first have to check and see what are the challenges. I know what the kind of backgrounds they come from. I know they are vulnerable people. And I came to realize that as we did our businesses, we have two biggest challenges. And the first challenges that we found is that we have a huge number of people who are not employed. That's a challenge for you and me. It's a problem. And that's the reason you will walk along River Road or you'll go in town and they'll snatch. They'll snatch your earring, they'll snatch or your hair. Those who put weave, you can be snatched. Then the other challenge I came to understand is that we have people who are employed, but they are earning below the poverty line. So that's poor working. I call them poor working because you are paid. My mom belonged in that category. That's why I was chased away from school fees all the time. You are employed, but you are earning below the poverty line. You are not paid a decent pay. You are not given better working condition. And that is one of the reasons why I said that I really need to come and address world's biggest challenges. Because one, we have integrated our business with Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. So the SDG number 1 is no poverty. So I want to reduce poverty. SDG number 13, as we do our cleaning business with these people, we will eradicate climate action with our cleaning products. And then inequalities. These people come from marginalized, vulnerable group, and sometimes there's a gap between the haves and the have-not. The gap between the haves and have-nots keep on widening. But if I create employment, then I can be able to reduce inequality. So my biggest, I think, I can say that the biggest problem that I want to solve for these people is to, first of all, ensure that I have created employment, and two is ensure that I have created decent pay and decent working condition. Yeah, that is my biggest motivation. Yes.
Wow. Also, let's talk about mental health. I think in the same context of taking care of our employees.
Yeah.
Most employers still don't know about this, about the importance of mental health in their workers.
Absolutely. I'll tell you for a fact, in when COVID, on the onset of COVID-19, this is one of the things that we understood about mental health. And when we look at the statistics, we found that in 2019, the numbers of people who have mental health issues is 169. And then when we came to the same statistics said that in 2021 and 2022, the numbers on mental health had escalated to 406 in numbers. You can see the difference between 2019, 2020 and 2021. That means people, business leaders have to rethink the role of business in the society and see that these numbers are telling you about something. And when we saw that, we integrated again our human rights, business and human rights, and we came up with a program called Cycling to Work. This was to address mental health issues. Mental health issues, we had a lot of anxiety, we had a lot of people who had depression. We had a lot of, we even had people who committed suicide. And this was in domestic violence. This for us was key. We said that business leaders need to see, see something, say something, then do something. Don't see something and say, this is not me, or this is the government's role. You have to see and what you can do. So we look at our SDG number 3, which says health of workers at the workplace and wellness at the workplace. And we came up with a program called Cycling to Work, where we collaborated with companies. And when we collaborated with these companies, we got bicycles. So we said our business is for profit. So the profit that we get, we were able now to buy the bicycles. We started with a pilot test of 10 bicycles. We got these bicycles, we gave them, and then we spread the cost for 2 years so that they can be able to afford the bicycles. You remember the human right due diligence process. The first step was talk to the people, then let hear what they say. So we talked to the people, and the people said that they want the bicycles, some for their children, others for their hubbies, for their husbands, and some just cycle. Of course, that will now help them clear their mental and they will be focused. It's exercise. Yeah, cycling is like exercise, and it will be able to address the mental health issues. However, when we collaborated with this organization and we gave out the bicycles, today they completely paid the bicycles and now they own the bicycles. So that way we were able to address the mental health issues. But I think I would like to elaborate on this. So when we gave them the bicycles, they fell on the roads. I don't cycle, but today I do because of that problem that happened. So when they fell on the bicycle, we then came to realize, oh my goodness, You remember the third step, reporting. So you report internally. So when we checked on the reporting, we realized that people have fallen. One was hit by a car near Muthaiga, and he was thrown into a ditch. Then the other one, who was cycling on Mombasa Road, was a motorist knocked him. And the motorist was very angry. So he took off and he left his bicycle. Then the other ones were hit near KBC under the bridge by a border rider. Then the other one was hit on Wayakiwi. These people did not come to work. When they didn't come to work, then we realized, oh my goodness, now we have to replace people. You remember how we said when people are sick, let them heal, let them. And we have NSSA, we have health, the insurance where people can be treated in the hospital without any challenges. So these people went to the hospital, we brought other people, and then we realized, my goodness, we really need now to advocate for better cycling, safe, accessible cycling lanes for people. Now, again, human rights and business, it's not just about your workers, it's also about the people in the community. So we realized that our people who also represent the community, and then we have the community in large, we need to address cycling proper, for the government to put proper cycling lane, cycling path, and of course, leaving no one behind. Driveways for persons with disability. So now today we are advocating for accessible, safe, resilient cycling lanes, pedestrian walkways, and we are also now saying leave no one behind. You remember what I said? Sometimes the society forget to think of the vulnerable people in the society. We turn a blind eye. So we did not turn a blind eye. We have said we are including persons with disability. So we have also advocating for driveways for persons with disability. Yeah, I think that is where we are. And that's why it is important. All this, the Cycling to Work program came to address mental health issues. Yes.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you.
And you're doing it practically with your very own employees.
Yes.
How many do you have?
Right now we have 25. There's a time we had 500. Then we had 120. Then when COVID hit, we lost our business, 98% of our businesses. And that's why I was saying, respond, recover, resilient. So right now in the mode of resilient, how do we recover? How do we create resilient and come back again? And I'll tell you the reason why we are still standing, even after losing 98%, is because we are thinking about the communities. Let me tell you, Eric, when you do the right thing, even when doing the right thing is hard to do, let me tell you, there's a lot of fulfillment. You feel happy. Life has a meaning. Whether there's money or there's no money, you will still continue. That is why I say that out there, I want to encourage those people who are thinking of coming to start business. Think of the why. Why are you coming to do this business? I said I came to business to change the world. Let me tell you, whether there's no money or there's no money, there's money or there's no money, I'll still have the drive and the courage to keep going. After losing 98% of your business, it's not a joke. You'd close your business and go home. And go home and sleep because you have lost hope. But I would want to encourage people, do the right thing and know why you are coming to do business. That is very important. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Yes.
In the quest of, I can say you treat your employees like you are equals. I would say so.
Yes. Associate.
Kuna hiyo equalization.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges, biggest challenges you have experienced from that? Because I think most people consider it easier to operate when employees were on the side.
On the far end. Did you see the challenges?
Yeah.
They are okay. Of course, there are challenges. There are challenges when you do that, because sometimes people will forget that there are boundaries. And then take advantage. They will take really. They actually they take advantage, and you'll find that now they will forget that this is an organization and we have a protocol that we do, and they'll forget to do the right thing. So you'll find some will be there's laxity, and others are happy. So it depends, because some of them will even wake up and leave without giving you a notice. You see, when there's no boundaries, when you create such a culture, it's a culture where people work as a teamwork. Before you fire people, there's a way it has to be extreme, that you are being fired because now it's extreme. And before I fire you, I have to give you notice. But now you'll find that some of the challenges I get is that people will wake up and leave without giving me notice. Yeah, because of that kind of a culture. So that, I think that is one of the things I would say is actually a problem. People will leave without telling you. And then sometimes people will forget that it's actually a culture where it's also a business. As much as we say we want to treat people in the right way, and we want to incorporate a culture where people can say their challenges without any fear. Still, you will still get challenges here and there. Yes.
Wow. Speak from an employer point of view.
Yes. Absolutely.
where someone has undergone loss in business because of their close relationship with their employees. How do you recover from that? Because there's some people you bring that near, and they, as you said, take advantage, maybe cause a very great loss in the company, maybe even theft happens, something like that. What can you tell an employer?
What I would say is that how do you handle with issues with theft? How do you handle things to do with probably gross misconduct in an organization? I'll say that have a committee. Have a committee within the organization. And once you create this committee within the organization, employees versus employees are able to solve it. And what doesn't have is not able to be solved, then can escalate now to the top management or to me. Yeah. But there's a committee within the workers, and they can be able to solve within themselves. The other thing we do is that it's good to have, I would advise them to have a hotline number where people can actually send, in case there is a problem, send a message, a hotline number that comes, and there's someone in charge of, maybe through the committee, there's someone who is in charge of reading those messages. You can also have a Dropbox, if there's a Dropbox where people air their grievances, because I say that an institution where people are not given an opportunity to air themselves, or they are scared of saying because they might lose their job, it's not a good environment. Yeah, and that's not a culture where people are encouraged to say. You remember, like we said, we about the cycling to work program, where I thought the bicycles will belong to the organization, but the people said no. Madam, we would like them to belong to us. We would like to own them. Then I said the bicycles will be for you to cycle to work. They said, no, madam. We want to give to our husbands. I don't want to cycle because I can't cycle, but I want this bicycle to give it to my husband. Then the other case was, no, madam, we would like these bicycles. I am not cycling to work, but my children, I'm a single mother. My children need to cycle. You see, when you give people an environment where they can be able to air their issues, they feel that it is an environment where you can say, it can actually help me. You see, I didn't know that they have husbands who are going to work and they would like bicycle. I didn't know that they have children who would like to cycle. I didn't know that they would want to own the bicycle. If it was just about me, not me putting the others in the forefront. For me, it's mind-blowing. And when people can be able to share, it's good. The other thing we have also done in our organization is to bring a third party, an external sources, bring other people from outside. In this case, we have collaboration with human rights organization, and we tell them, come and help us. We have a challenge here. Come and help us. So we can sometimes bring external people to come to organization and help us solve some of the challenges, or even probably create a policy that we did not know how to create. For instance, our organization, we didn't know how to create a human rights, standalone human rights policy. We got external. So I think such engagement, bringing people together, it doesn't matter what, and not thinking that what people are saying, it's something that is out of extraordinary. Just thinking, bringing thoughts together, bring people together, and that way you can be able actually to make your organization move to the next level. Yes, I know it sometimes can be hard, but the more you start doing it, it will be very easy, and people will feel, they'll start owning. They'll start taking ownership. And let me tell you, when people take ownership, they feel this is our thing. We must make it happen. We must work hard and make sure. And you know, when you give people such platform, they start coming up even with ideas that will help the organization. They start adding value to the organization. Like now, who would have known that they needed the bicycles to be theirs? It adds value. Today, those people are very happy. Can you imagine someone who was given a bicycle now if he was using 6,000 as fare transport, so now that money can be put on food or something else. The bicycles we give them, because we say that we are organization that use best practices, we cannot infringe on the rights of people. We went and sourced for bicycles that are had 5 years warranty. And bicycles that had a kit, and they were trained on these bicycles. We had one gentleman who his bicycle kept breaking down, and he was at the fundi 24/7. But when he gave them these bicycles, they have no challenges. They are good bicycles for them. So I would say that let's engage. Engage, number one, engage your workers. Number two, engage your workers. Number three, engage. So engage, engage. That is the only way that you can be able to understand each other. Yes.
Tip the skills here for us with a success story.
Oh, okay.
Of advocating for your employees' rights and giving them decent work.
I would say that there has been a lot of opportunities when you treat your workers well, when you do your business in the right way, when you I keep saying this, and I like to repeat this, that for you to be successful in this industry, I think there is one thing I will always keep saying, that you must have principles and values that you must never violate. You must have things that you stand for, that I can't do these things no matter what. I believe in these principles and I cannot violate these principles. I tell people that you have to wear your code of ethics on your sleeves, where people can see, in quotes, I do not do these things. Don't put them on your head where we can't see. And that's why when I started the program, I said, our principles. One is we don't do corruption. Human rights, we have to treat people well. Labor laws, that we have to use the labor laws. And finally, environment. I say those because those are my principles. I can't violate. So when someone think of doing corruption, he can say, Mary, no, don't even dare. Don't go there. So that's why I say, wear your code of ethics on your sleeves, where people can see. And people cannot violate. So when we started doing this, we have actually won a lot of awards. Some of the awards that we won I can start in 2019. We won the United Nations champion on women empowerment principles. That is health and safety of workers at the workplace. Then in 2021, we also won Optive and Go Green, a CEO of the Year Green Award. They say Green CEO of the Year. We were number 2. And then we also won Impactive Leader, Impact Redemptive Leader Award. And then in 2022, we also won. We won SDG Pioneer for Partnership, promoting health and well-being of workers at the workplace. That is the United Nations SDG Award. And because of doing these things, human and business, we have also been called to other places. People wonder, how did a small company even have collaborations with their customers to say, let's advocate for decent work and decent pay? How did you just do it? So we have found ourselves even going to the United Nations to speak to the United Nations. We have found ourselves also going to places like Madrid, Spain, to speak about human rights, and also to get training. And even this year, I think in July, we are also going to Uganda, still on the same on business and human rights. So you see, it's an area that real a lot of emphasis and saying and telling even business owners, world leaders, we need to rethink the role of business in the society. It is not about just us in our doing our business, making money, but we can actually, it's not about putting the profits first. Let the profits be a byproduct of doing the right thing. So you do the right thing and then the profits come. And I think that's what I would advocate, that business leaders need to rethink the role of business in the society. Yeah, putting people first and don't put profits first. Because the moment you put profits first, let me tell you, you'll do anything. You'll do shoddy work, you'll do corruption for you to be able to make a lot of money. And that also goes to the generation of the youth or the future generation, people out there. I would like to tell them that every time that you think of doing business, don't put money first. Or don't be a person who thinks of, I call it you need to have a delayed gratification. Because people need things pap, pesa pap. You need to start this business and you want to drive a Range Rover tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, you have to work hard and build a business 10 years, build your business 15 years, build your business 20 years. Don't be a person who will do anything to make money. Because when you think about Eric, if you think about those people who think that when you put profits first, let me tell you, it will be a generation that will be destroyed. Yeah, and that is not where we want the generation to go. Yeah, we want people who believe in working for it, doing the right thing, even when doing the right thing is hard to do. And knowing that it's not about putting profits first. Let the profits be the byproduct of doing the right thing. Yes.
Wow. Let the profits be a byproduct.
Yes, of doing the right thing.
Absolutely. Just before I ask you where the government is in this and their efforts towards the same, let me draw you narrowly down to budgets. And this is especially to startup organizations, whereby sometimes they don't have enough resources to do the right thing. So sometimes they are bringing in people to do a particular kind of work, but depending on the financial muscle that they have at that time, yeah, they are not able to do what we are saying this morning. Yeah, how do they get there? What can they do at that particular time that they are not yet able to give leaves, maternity, helmets, etc.?
I would say that if you want to come into business and probably you are asking to be funded, don't even start. When think of coming into business, do one thing to pay for another thing, to pay for another thing, so that you can be able to do the other big thing. So I keep saying that even me, when I started business, I didn't get into business fast to thinking that I need people to fund me or I need those budgets so that I can do that. I knew that I have to do one thing, generate income, generate money, and do one thing so that you can be able to do another thing. So even the people who are thinking of starting the business, I would say that all you need to do, get into a space, understand the space very well. And once you understand this space very well, how it works, you have to do a research. You don't just do one business, it's not working, do another one, it's not working, do another one, keep hoping. You know, we say a jack of all trades is a master of nothing. So I would say get into a space, dig deeper, understand it, and then collaborate with, like us, when we started the business, we didn't know. But after we got to understand how the nitty-gritties of how it works, have collaborations. Without collaborations, then it is very hard for you. So for us, we have to collaborate with our customers. When you collaborate with your customers, you tell them, this is what we stand for. This is how we want to do. We want to pay people well, because human right is a cost. So we talk to our customers and we told them we want to do decent work, want to pay people well, and there's a cost into it. We say, put your cost. So when you are doing the costing for the cleaning work, put all those, put uniform, put the decent work, put the better working condition, and then present to them, and then let it be a genuine one, not an exaggerated price. And then they will see, indeed, these people are thinking about people, and they are doing the right thing, and they buy into it. Can you imagine? As simple as that. So sometimes we look, we think that we look for things out there when we have everything. God has imbued all the seeds of greatness inside us. We have everything inbuilt inside us. Yet we go outside there to look for the things far away, and we have everything that God has implanted in us. We just need to find, discover the seeds of greatness buried deep inside us, and then use those to tap into the opportunities. Yeah, I think that's what I would tell them.
Wow.
Dig deeper into your field. Yeah, and get to understand yourself, and then tap and engage your people and look for collaborations.
Wow.
Yes.
Time is flying on us here. What role has technology played in improving the lives of people towards decent work? Sorry.
Okay, what we have done on technology and what we continue to continuously do, and how we think that technology can help. I think the first thing is access to information. The people at the bottom, we have struggled a lot. You know, people living at the bottom of the pyramid in informal settlements, sometimes we tried to, even when COVID hit the country, we tried to do meetings, we tried to train them. And they cannot afford this other form. They only have a kabambi. It is very hard. But as we continue seeing that technology can actually help us, and especially in that space, if they have a gadget that they can be able to use apart from the kabambi, that in such a way they can be able to access information, they can be able to do e-training, you know, the way they can learn on platform to be able to improve themselves. So I think access to information is one of the key things that we ask. We think that technology will continue improving on that way. Then when we come to the side of business and human rights, thinking and caring about people, we are in a cleaning industry. We use cleaning machines, and we have moved from very noisy machines that are actually used by our people. And when they use them, that is noise. Noise pollutes the environment. And we are every day we are looking now at tapping into technology that you can hoof this carpet without any noise. So it will not affect our people. It will not affect our customers. And then the other thing is about the machineries we still use, advanced technology in terms of water. As we use these machines, how do we train them? How are we training them to show that water is a very essential? Even where they live, they know water is like gold. And in the years that we are coming, I tell you, Eric, if we are not careful about using technology that will help us, use little water when we are cleaning the carpet or wherever, car wash, wherever. You go to places, car wash, they use water and they use it badly. Let me tell you, the years we are coming, if we are not careful, water will be guarded with guns. Yeah, we'll be guarding water. It will be such a commodity that you know, there are places that have no water. I went to Samburu, and I could see how I would meet with children. They are coming with small bottles. They are looking for you to give them water. There are people who are bathing with a small bucket of water. Still, water is such an essential commodity. So we want to train these people, and we also want technology that actually help us use water less and economically, to save water, because water is an essential commodity. Yeah.
Wow. Inequality and discrimination. Most of these jobs that we are talking about are the people that get ignored. They are watu wanaingia kwa ofisi hata hawasalimii. You pass by them by the parking. Maybe alikuwa anakata fence. Nobody says good morning to them.
Yeah.
How do you handle this kind of discrimination?
I'll tell you for a fact that the world we are in today, things are changing. Things like discrimination. You see the way you say that you meet people, nobody even says good morning. I have been to that space. I know. I have been employed in such places. The world we are today, and I said the 21st leadership, we do not need bosses. We will need leaders. We need people who think about people, and people, leaders who put people first. What we have is bosses. I was employed in places where I had bosses. And when I thank God, because God put me in that space so that I can connect the dots and not be like them, but learn from them. So I keep saying that things like discrimination, inequality, what we need to do is that for us, what we do, because I speak from the point of what I do, not theory, is something that I've done practically. We still have the human right due diligence framework, where we have we integrate the, you remember the four processes of the human right due diligence. The first, engage. The second one is integrating the negative impacts into processes, into policies, into trainings and budgets. So we have policies that we have put to prevent discrimination, to reduce inequalities. For instance, we have a sexual harassment policy at our place. We also have a health and safety policy. We have a no discrimination, you know, how you can discriminate people, even when we are recruiting people. We don't want our HR just to recruit people from their tribe. We do not them, to recruit people, people of their families. So those policies is a guide. They guide us. We can say that we are not perfect. And like I said, human rights, it's not about having the best human rights policies. It's not about having the best procedures. It is a working in process. It is a procedure that there's a problem here. How do we address it? There's a problem there. How do we address it? And therefore, even I would say people out there, don't be afraid of starting your business and saying that we are business and human rights, doing the right thing, even when doing the right thing is hard. It's not rocket science. It's just getting there, start learning how to do it. Do slowly. Do slowly. You don't have to be perfect because it is progressive. It's a progress. It's not an event. It's a process. So I think I would say people need to put policies in place. They need to put best practices in their workplace, and they just need to walk the talk. So don't walk the talk.
Wow. Let's go to what advice now. Give your best advice to individuals, to who have businesses, to organizations, on how they can put their best foot forward about championing for decent work for the employees.
Again, I will say that business leaders need to rethink the role of business in the society, because when the society is struggling, actually, right now we have seen with the COVID-19, after the losing, like I said, we lost 98%. When the society is struggling, we will not go anywhere as businesses. We will not thrive. So that's why business leaders need to rethink the role of business in the society. So when the society is healthy, then our businesses will also be healthy. There's no trade-off. So that we need to think about, business leaders need to rethink the role of business in the society. The other thing I would like to say is do the right thing. Even when doing the right thing is hard to do. I think that is what I would advise businesses to do. Just do the right thing, even when doing the right thing is hard to do.
Wow. Wow.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to be giving you a last chance here because of time. We've run out of time, and you're going to be talking to us about the future of work. For indeed, there is a new generation that perceives work in a totally different way than us.
I know.
I am saying anybody mwenye ni 2000 kushuka.
I know.
So there's a new breed of workers, and there's a way they want to be treated, and there's the way that they do work. About talk to employers, because there's a danger. I don't know if many people know about this, but I know you know. Talk to us about that.
So first of all, I would like to say that employees, when you are employed in a place, put your best foot forward. I was an employee. I was employed. Let me tell you, I keep saying that where you have been put, that is where you should put your best foot forward. Work like you are working for God. Don't work like you are working for someone. Work like you are working for God. And know that if someone else, your boss, is not watching, God is always watching. This has happened to me. Where I was employed, I used to work as if I owned the place. I worked as if it was my place. And that, remember I said God is watching. When you work like that, even behind the scene, when nobody is watching you, remember there's always blessing that will shower on you. Because if you have something that God has given you and you cannot take care of that thing, then how do you expect God you to bless with big things? You have to work well where you have been given whatever responsibility you have been given. Work at it. Work as if there's no tomorrow. Work as if it is yours. Put like I say, always put your best foot step forward. And that is where the blessing starts.
Wow.
Because I know that God will never leave you.
Wow.
First of all, you need to, if you can take care of something that is not yours, then God will definitely bless you with something that is yours, so that you can be able to work. I think that is one of the biggest things that I have learned as a person. That God will never bless you if you cannot take care for something that He has given you. You have a car today. He has blessed you with a car. You do not give gratitude. You don't take care of that car. It has a dent. It has it looks dirty, and you're not taking care of it. How will God bless you again with another big? If you are in employment and you are going to work late, you are preferring or stealing or doing something that is not good, you are not taking care of that. Even when nobody is seen, then how do you expect big things to come to you? So I think that's what I would like to tell people. Just put your best foot forward and work as if you are working for God.
Wow.
Yes.
God is watching everything that we do.
Yes.
He's watching. Even if your boss is not seeing you,
yes,
God is seeing what you do.
And He will bless you.
And He will bless you. And the promotion lies deep there in your faithfulness.
Yes.
From one level to another level. Our special appreciation goes to you, Mary, because of coming to talk to us about how do we take care of our employees, how do we do business beyond profit. And it has been a beautiful conversation, and I know it is of great benefit to people that have been listening, the people that want to start a business, the people that are running a business.
Absolutely.
On how do you handle these employees matters. Yeah. We have come to the end of the show today. Special appreciation to Almighty God because of giving us this wonderful opportunity, the gift of life, and even the ability and the grace to do this. We appreciate na tunapeana shukrani zetu sana. And finally, to our viewers, we love you, we appreciate you, and we pray for you every day. Keep tuned in to Prayer Cave TV for another fantastic episode of Uchao Don't Break Show.